Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Detroit police investigating several break-ins overnight, one in Corktown, one further west and one further south. One of them as brazen as to knock out a hole in the wall to get inside of the business.
All right, Nick, and does the punishment fit the crime? A judge hands down the sentence for the JCC camp counselor convicted of manufacturing child pornography, and not everyone feels justice was served.
But we begin with breaking news here at 5. A federal grand jury has indicted Highland Park State Senator Burt Johnson. You'll remember the FBI raided Johnson's home and his Lansing office in March.
And now we know why. Johnson is charged with conspiracy and theft crimes. Let's get to Mara McDonald. She's live at Johnson's Highland Park home. And Mara, you just had an opportunity to talk with him. What do you have to say?
Just moments ago, Kimberly, he came home here. Clearly, it looked like he was coming home from the gym because, you know, the Michigan State Senate is on spring break right now. He rolls up into the driveway, chase him onto the driveway, and I asked him, you know, what he had to say about all of this, and take a listen.
I got lawyers who make all my public statements for me.
Back here live. So Senator Johnson is not talking about this. This is the multi-page indictment that was handed down today. And after reading through all of it, here is the bottom line. The feds are alleging that Senator Johnson was playing fast and loose with the monies from his state Senate office to repay personal debts. When the feds swooped in on Johnson's Highland Park home in his Lansing office, they were looking for documentation that Johnson had hired a woman who was essentially a ghost employee in order to repay a debt he owed her. That confidential witness is Glynis Thornton, a vendor caught up in the DPS bribery and kickback scandal. Per the federal indictment, Johnson borrowed $10,000 from Thornton, and she wanted to be repaid. Johnson didn't have the cash, so his idea was to place her on the payroll of his Senate office, where she would do no work but would collect a check. When we sat down with Johnson post-FBI raid but pre-indictment, he told us he had no idea what the feds were after him for.
You know, I've worked really hard to sort of build a good reputation and maintain it in the community. And I'm thankful for that. You know, this has been a job of a lifetime. But the truth is we're looking to try to understand what it is that they're even investigating.
Back here live, that is what they are investigating, and per the feds, Thornton ended up with more than $10,000, more like $23,000 for her ghost employee status. Kimberly, Jason, back to you.
Well, it might be a little early to ask this question, Mara, but what about Johnson's status in the Senate? Will he remain on the payroll? Do we know?
As of right now, he remains on the payroll. You know, this isn't the first time that a situation like this has come up in the Michigan Senate. And Senate Majority Leader Arlen Meekhoff has taken the stance that until somebody is convicted or decides they want to resign, they stay on the payroll. So for now, he remains a state senator. Back to you.
All right, Mara, thank you, and keep us posted. Our other top story tonight, the former JCC camp counselor who took a plea deal in a child porn case learned how long he'll spend behind bars. As part of the plea deal, 22-year-old Matthew Cupp pleaded guilty to distribution of child porn, and for that, he'll spend the next 10 years behind bars. Priya Mann was in the courtroom, and Priya, some questions about the length of this sentence.
Yeah, the judge said there was no evidence that Matthew Coop molested any of the children he photographed, and the parents of the victims were outraged, saying that there are still pictures of their children's naked bodies, their faces, even their names. All of this remains on the dark web.
I respectfully disagree with the judge that it's impossible to have a rational conversation about issues involving child pornography.
Matthew Coop, a former camp counselor at the West Bloomfield JCC, pleaded guilty to distributing photos of young boys changing in locker rooms. In the government sentencing memorandum, prosecutors say one user commented, "rising star." Another asked, "Have you more?" Coop replied, "Yes, I will send you a nice video of a 5-year-old boy. My email is jcclockerroom@gmail.com.
There's not a member of these families that haven't been impacted, whether they're brothers or sisters, whether they're the parents, and even the grandparents.
The defense argued the 3 minors were never molested nor subject to physical sexual abuse. The children were of a young age and did not even know they were being photographed.
You don't go through a process like this without being deeply impacted.
In court, the parents of one victim said they lost much of their innocence because of you. At any point in their lives, these photographs may pop up on a computer screen and bring it all back to them. The families are now considering suing the JCC.
They had complaints. We don't know all the details, but they had clear complaints about this person.
And we did receive a statement from the JCC. It says the Jewish Community Center of Metropolitan Detroit is committed to the safety and welfare of the families we serve. We are grateful that this painful matter has reached a conclusion through the criminal system. We're hoping that the healing process can continue uninterrupted. And we just received just moments ago an addition to that statement, the JCC also saying measures have been put in place so this will not happen again. But families want to know what those measures are and, of course, how this could have happened in the first place. Reporting live, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Yeah, you can sure understand their frustration. And Priya, is Coop already off to prison?
No, he's going to have 60 days before he has to turn himself in. He's no longer required to wear a tether. He's no longer under house arrest, although he still has to follow some restrictions on his mobility. But 60 days before he turns himself in.
All right, Priya. Thanks. Kim?
Could 3 separate break-ins in and near Corktown overnight all be connected? That's something Detroit investigators are still trying to figure out, including one break-in at Slo's restaurant on Michigan Avenue. As Nick Monticelli reports, though, the hardest hit might be a business just down the road.
Well, the owners of this body shop were trying to figure out how they got in. It did not take them long to figure that out, but this is just where it started. Next, they smashed out this glass window, giving them access to this side garage. And once inside, when no one can see them, they spent all their time busting out this cinder block wall to get inside.
They break that window on that garage, and then they break the block.
So
wall.
They had to shove this shelf out of the way?
Yeah,
Ricardo Ponce got the call early this morning around 4 a.m. The alarm at his shop, Rock Auto Group, was going off. Once he got there, he found that hole in the wall and about $5,000 worth of his tools gone.
This is my work. I need the tools to keep working,
So what are you going to do now?
I guess I have to buy new tools.
The alarm was also cut, making Ponce think whoever did this knew exactly where they were going.
Whoever he was break down, he know where was the line.
Where to go.
Yeah, yep.
But Ponce is not the only one cleaning up today.
Burglary! You have violated an area protected by a security system.
At Slo's Barbecue in Corktown, about a mile away, another burglary alarm. Investigators thought someone may have used these milk crates to jump on top of the storage container and then into the crawl space. What's strange, though, is nothing obvious is missing. The register, the liquor, it's all still there. The owners will have to say for sure what, if anything, was taken. And at Johnny Noodle King on West Fort, another break-in. Evidence technicians were there hoping to find something, anything, to figure out who is doing this and if there is a definitive link between all of these break-ins. In Detroit, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
All right, Nick, and someone at Johnny Noodle King said whoever broke in there used a crowbar to break open the door.
I-94, more of a mess than usual today because of an overturned semi on a ramp near Dearborn. The semi rolled on the ramp from westbound I-94 to southbound Schaefer Road and is still blocking anyone from getting off there. No word on injuries right now, but keep it here. We'll let you know when all of this is cleaned up and 94 is back to the usual slowdown. A deadly accident on Detroit's west side this afternoon when a 40-year-old man drove into a building. Take a look at the video of the aftermath of the crash here that happened on Rosa Parks Boulevard in Rickton. Police say the man was just driving too fast northbound on Rosa Parks when he hit that building. One person is hospitalized after a car slammed into a semi in Warren.
That crash happened about 3:30 this morning on Mound Road, just south of 12 Mile. Emergency crews had to cut the roof off the car to rescue someone trapped inside. At this time, no word on what led to the crash. Police, though, are investigating. A Detroit woman charged after a wild fight at Rouge Park leads to a stabbing.
Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy charged 21-year-old Shadivia Phillips in connection to the Sunday night stabbing of a 30-year-old woman. Phillips is expected to be arraigned tomorrow.
Investigators on the hunt for clues after a robber hits a Harrison Township pharmacy.
That happened Friday night at the CVS on the 26,000 block of Crocker near Metro Parkway. Take a good look at the suspect. Police say he's about 5'8" and in his early 20s. He's suspected of jumping the counter here and taking 3 bottles of medication. You're going to see it. Witnesses say there he goes jumping the counter. Witnesses say he took off in a silver Chrysler Pacifica. If you recognize this guy, call police. Well, what a difference after those storms overnight. Sun is shining. It's warm today.
Flowers starting to bloom.
Of course.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's get over to Ben. Ben, you're tracking a little bit of a cool down, though, right?
Yeah, won't be too long before we'll be firing up those lawnmowers with the rain and the sunshine that some of us got today. But temperatures, far cry from our high. We almost hit 70. We're down to 59 right now. And the cooler air is continuing to move in. In fact, just about everybody in the 50s, save for Port Huron, which is usually one of our cooler locations. It's warmest right now at 61, one of the last places to see that cool air start to move in from west to east. So we'll be falling through the 50s tonight. After sunset, look for the numbers to move into the 40s. We'll call it partly cloudy tonight. Should see a lot of sun tomorrow. We'll tell you where temperatures go, and of course look forward to the weekend all in a few minutes, guys.
All right, Ben, mountains of controversy surrounding a spill in Howell.
Mountains indeed. Around 7,200 gallons of concentrated Mountain Dew syrup went down the drain at the Pepsi bottling plant on Mason Road last month, causing environmental concerns. The Department of Environmental Quality was at the plant on several occasions after the tank ruptured and sent the syrup through a floor drain and into the plant's internal sewer system. Pepsi and the city say proper procedures were used following the spill. The DEQ disagrees.
A lot of Mountain Dew. The Taylor School Board makes a decision that leaves parents and students shocked.
New here at 5, why it's decided to close a high school just days after voting to keep it open.
And a fight between a couple spirals way out of control. New here at 5, how a little argument led to a massive apartment fire.
But first, a path of destruction. Multiple tornadoes touching down in Michigan last night, and that's not the only mess. Ben's back with a closer look coming up.
It's the New at 6.
Pizza delivery drivers just trying to do their job, finding themselves under attack from thieves. New at 6, hear from one of them who's had enough.
And what about us? Workers at the Palace face an uncertain future as the team makes its move to downtown Detroit. New at 6, we hear from one of the best-known Palace personalities who's looking for work.
I wonder if that's going to be the dancing usher.
Huh. See? It's a good little tease.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, last night severe weather missed our part of the state.
Yeah, but a tornado did hit West Michigan, though, I heard.
We knew it was going to be worse in the west part of the state, and sure enough, Twister touched down in southeast Kent County, then traveled into Ionia County last night. And at its biggest, the tornado was a little over 2 football fields wide.
Wow.
You can see on this map that it was part of a larger cluster of storms that traveled from Chicago's north suburbs across Lake Michigan and into the western part of our state. The storms then weakened to just a heavy rain event by the time it moved into the northern thumb. Now, here's some of the video from the west side of the state. The Twister there on the ground for 5 minutes, traveled 5.25 miles, and then eventually strengthened to 90 miles an hour, which is an EF1 on the 0 to 5 EF or enhanced Fujita scale. Snapped off or uprooted dozens of trees, also severely damaged 3 barns. One metal section of a barn's roof was carried just over a half mile and dropped in a field. Meanwhile, cleanup still continues in the UP after severe weather moved through that area this weekend. You're looking at pictures from the community of Ishpeming, where wind gusts clocked at 80 miles an hour created a swath of widespread damage, along with downed trees and power lines, which were snapped off, leaving some 2,400 people without power. Now, according to the local power company up there, additional crews have been brought in to help restore power as quickly and as safely as possible. And a quick note on that tornado yesterday. There was only a severe thunderstorm watch, which was in effect at the time. So this is just sort of a reminder that it doesn't need to be a tornado watch to spawn a tornado. Any severe storm can spawn.
And you can feel the instability in the air too. You know, you have to watch out for that kind of thing.
This time of year.
This time of year.
That RV on its side was pretty telling there. Around here today, though, pretty nice.
It was, yeah. We'll see actually more on that right now.
That's fine. We'll
I'm
take
used to
it.
going away.
Don't go away.
But
Stay.
I'm actually going to talk about this.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I did want to tell you about this too. Today, back in 1965, just 57 years ago, this was the anniversary of the Palm Sunday outbreak that happened here in Southeast Michigan. And some of us remember that there were, not me, I wasn't around, but 2 F4 tornadoes touched down 40 minutes apart. It took the exact same path through Hillsdale and Lenawee County, killed over 40 people, 597 people were injured, and over 1,000 buildings were damaged. And again, that was back in April 11th of 1965. Big difference today compared to what we saw last night. Parts of the east side saw some sun. We're still getting it here in downtown. 59 is the current temperature. We've got a wind gust 26 with a sustained wind right now out of the west to 20 miles an hour. So overnight tonight, we are going to see partly cloudy skies. Nothing doing as far as precipitation goes. We're going to stay dry overnight. And as we get into tomorrow, plenty of sunshine around to start the day after those clouds leave us overnight. And despite the fact that we're going to have all that sunshine, numbers are actually going to be cooler tomorrow than what we ended up with today. We told you at the top of the show, almost hit 70 degrees this afternoon. We'll be lucky to get near 60 tomorrow, but it will be coming with a lot of sunshine. And then high pressure is going to be in control for the remainder of the midweek. We'll start moving upwards in temperatures as we head towards the upcoming weekend. Tonight, though, it's going to be cool. In fact, these are going to be some of our warmest numbers in our 4-zone forecast right here in our metro zone. 41 in the city, Troy at 40, West Bloomfield also at 20, Clinton Township, or I should say 40, up there towards M59. Right around 40 degrees for most parts of our south zone. A little bit cooler away from the lakes here in Milan and Belleville at 39 degrees. Not a whole lot of difference in our west zone. A lot of 30s is what we're expecting here, save for the 40s down from Ann Arbor to Canton and Novi. And our coldest numbers will be up in Sanilac County. That's where we're looking at 36 in Sandusky, 37 in Lexington and Marlette, and numbers hanging right around 40 degrees there in Rochester Hills and Macomb by tomorrow morning. So highs will get up to 59, and it will be coming with a lot of sunshine tomorrow. Wind's going to be a lot lighter tomorrow than what we were dealing with today, 8 to 13 miles an hour. 70s do come back in the 7-day forecast for Easter weekend. They are also coming back with shower and thunderstorm chances. Those are not going to be all day. Right now, it looks like both Saturday and Sunday, the chances of seeing a shower or storm are going to be in the morning. So if you got egg hunts or services on Sunday, have the umbrellas and the raincoats ready, because we may be needing that.
Every time I go to grab the patio furniture, I listen to the forecast and go, but there's a couple of days here. Just keep waiting and waiting. It'll be August.
If you put it out, I can guarantee you things are going to get wet.
It's going to jinx us.
Yeah. Thanks, Ben.
Let's check in with the doctor. Hi.
Hey guys, well, could gray hair be a warning sign for a serious medical issue? Plus, the one thing you want to avoid hurting yourself while doing all those spring cleaning chores. Those stories ahead in Good Health.
All right, Doc, but first, a dark past exposed. The brand new details we're learning today about the man who walked into a special needs classroom in California and opened fire on his wife. That's next.
A young student has died following the murder-suicide inside an elementary school in San Bernardino, California. The student killed, 8-year-old Jonathan Martinez, died yesterday from his injuries. Police have now identified the gunman as 53-year-old Cedric Anderson. Investigators say he walked into a special needs class taught by his wife and opened fire. Teacher Karen Smith was killed. Anderson then killed himself as chaos and panic erupted.
I saw blood across the room. I ran fast as I can. I lost his shoe.
There is no indication that the gun was visible upon his arrival at the school. It wasn't until he came into the classroom.
A 9-year-old student who was also hit is in stable condition. Meanwhile, the teacher and gunman had been married for just 2 months. An investigation continues. A domestic dispute led to a fire that gutted an apartment building in Ohio. Monday's incident also involved a police standoff with a suspect in that dispute.
Authorities say the fire started with a domestic dispute between a man and a woman late Monday afternoon in Warrensville Heights. The woman was able to escape and call police. The man barricaded himself inside until he was finally arrested, but he had already started that fire, which destroyed more than 20 townhomes.
I'm devastated, heartbroken. You know, some really good people that lost their homes here, you know, that's trying to go to work, that's trying to do the right thing. And now they don't have nothing.
Neighboring cities rushed in to help out and got it under control finally, but luckily no one hurt in that fire. An important new part of the District Detroit development, which centers on the new Detroit Red Wings arena, is beginning to take shape.
Structural steel is going up for Wayne State University's Mike Ilitch School of Business. The late Mike Ilitch and his family donated $40 million to construct this school. The dean of the school shared his excitement.
We are really looking forward to bringing our business school downtown. This will bring us much closer to the community, and it will be places where our students can even walk to their internships.
The school is expected to open 1 year from now.
U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow in Detroit today as she announced her plan to keep jobs in America.
Denim or all clothes are all made overseas, and yet we know that we can do that right here in Detroit, as well as across the country.
Stabenow was joined at the news conference by Eric Yelsma, founder of the Detroit Denim Company. She says the American Jobs Agenda will ensure products are being made in America, close loopholes that send jobs overseas, and hold countries accountable for unfair trade practices that hurt workers and manufacturers.
New at 5:30.
A major moment for U.S.-Russia relations as the Secretary of State takes a groundbreaking trip today.
Forget just relying on the old piggy bank. We are giving parents out there important information, tips from the experts so their children know how to manage money in the future.
Parents in the Taylor School District are outraged after a surprise vote to close one of the high schools. How a school board member and a superintendent are responding.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
It's a decision that's left both students and parents shocked. The Taylor School Board voting to close Kennedy High School just days after voting to keep it open. The vote last night wasn't on the agenda, but it came up anyway, and that's when the board voted closely, a narrow 5-4 margin to close the school.
Now, over the next 2 years, Kennedy High School will slowly shut down. Coco McAboy has been getting reaction to the decision and really the bizarre way it all went down. Hi, Coco.
Hi, Karen and Jason. Yes, it was very bizarre. The school board members were just talking about saving the high school. And then last night, one of the school board members decided to change his vote. And now that has students, staff members, and parents outraged.
Sad. It really is sad.
Lisa McParland is one of many parents upset after a surprise vote from the Taylor School Board, shutting down Kennedy High School over the next couple of years.
Because everything's money and budget with Taylor schools. It should be about the kids.
2 weeks ago and last year, the board voted no. But Superintendent Ben Williams says last night,
one vote was the swing vote.
That deciding vote came from Treasurer David Myers, who put the motion in last night.
I knew I wasn't 100% on my vote from the get-go when I first voted.
So he suddenly changed his vote.
And then I did a lot of thinking about the curriculum and AP classes, everything that we could offer the students by combining.
Today, he's getting a lot of backlash for his decision.
First, before they start bashing me and running me into the ground like I'm just some common political crook.
Williams says it'll also save the district $2 million, keep them out of debt, and help them rebrand.
We're going to have one larger high school with definitely more opportunities for kids across the spectrum.
Still, parents say this last-minute change is a big mistake.
I don't think it's going to work out. Just to try to save a penny, it's not going to be worth the kids.
And Myers acknowledged the fact that the vote was not on the agenda last night, but he said even when it was a couple of weeks ago, only about a handful of people showed up to that meeting. So he's encouraging people to make sure that they come out to those board meetings when they have them. Reporting live this afternoon, I'm Coco McAboy, Local 4. Back to you.
Coco, I do understand David Myers is facing a lawsuit right now over that position. So did he say anything about that?
Yes, he did. He said it's really just been one thing after another with this position. He says it's basically a volunteer position for him. He says he's not getting paid really any money for it, but he did it because he cares about the kids. And he's upset that one thing after another keeps happening.
All right, Coco McAboy live for us tonight in Taylor. Jason.
It's being called a defining moment for U.S. relations with Russia. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is in Moscow, marking the first official U.S. visit under the Trump administration. He's there amid tension between the two countries after U.S. airstrikes on Syria, which is a Russian ally. But some comments here at home from White House spokesman Sean Spicer, drawing some outrage on social media. Blaine Alexander following all of this from Washington.
Well, hello to you from Washington. The relations between the two countries are the coldest they've been since the Cold War. And Tillerson is going with a very firm message: pick a side. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson landing in Moscow today, armed with an ultimatum for Russian President Vladimir Putin: side with Syria or the rest of the world.
It is unclear whether Russia failed to take this obligation seriously or Russia has been incompetent. But this distinction doesn't much matter to the dead. We can't let this happen again.
Putin dismissing U.S. claims that Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad was behind last week's chemical attack, instead reminding the world that America got it wrong on weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. White House spokesperson Sean Spicer misspoke when he offered another historical parallel.
Someone as despicable as Hitler, who didn't even sink to using chemical weapons.
While he quickly corrected himself, it wasn't enough to stop a wave of criticism online. Minutes later, Spicer said in a statement he was not, quote, trying to lessen the horrendous nature of the Holocaust. Tillerson has been welcomed to Moscow before, Putin once officially declaring him a friend of Russia as CEO of ExxonMobil. If the two do not meet during this trip, analysts say it would be an insult to Tillerson and President Trump. Defense Secretary James Mattis, in his first briefing since the airstrikes, insisted U.S. policy has not changed.
If they use chemical weapons, they are going to pay a very, very stiff price.
As the White House tries to pressure Russia to cut ties with Syria. And technically, Tillerson is only scheduled to meet with his Russian counterpart during this trip, not Putin. However, all eyes will certainly be on the Russian president, what he says and what he does during this trip. In Washington, Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
Meantime, North Korea has warned of, quote, catastrophic consequences in response to any further provocations by the U.S. This comes just days after a U.S. Navy battle group was sent to waters off the Korean peninsula.
The CEO of United Airlines is now apologizing after dramatic video showing a passenger being dragged off an overbooked flight has gone viral. Airport police were called to remove that passenger, now identified as Dr. David Dow, who was chosen at random to give up his seat. The doctor refused, saying he had patients to get to. He was then forcibly removed, his face cut as he was dragged down the aisle of that plane. In the wake of the incident today, the airline's stock dropped dramatically, the fallout reaching all the way to the White House.
I don't think anyone looks at that video and isn't a little disturbed that another human being is treated that way.
Sure to stay tuned into NBC Nightly News at 6:30 to hear more about the doctor who was dragged off the plane and his behavior prior to the whole ordeal.
Communities in Wisconsin remaining on high alert as the manhunt for a fugitive considered armed and dangerous now enters day 7.
Joseph Jakubowski was wanted for stealing an arsenal of weapons last week. Now, after the theft, the fugitive disappeared. His car was found torched. Police also say the 32-year-old mailed a 161-page anti-government manifesto to President Trump and left authorities fearing Jakubowski may be planning an attack.
Obviously, when you read the document that he sent to the White House, he has a strong dislike or hatred towards government officials. So we have tried to increase our security at areas such as the courthouse, school events.
Police are following up on more than 400 leads to find the fugitive before anyone is harmed. Moving to Florida, where 11 people were injured this morning in a crash involving a school bus.
This happened just after 9 a.m. in Sarasota County. That's south of Tampa. Florida's Highway Patrol says the bus was carrying 12 students and an aide when a car attempting to turn left crossed into its path. One student has serious injuries. 6 other students and 4 adults have minor injuries. Police are investigating the exact cause of that crash.
He's already a top cop in Michigan, and now he is earning national recognition. Michigan State Police Sergeant Joseph Rowley has been chosen as 2017's National Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. That's by the American Legion. The award honors the sergeant for his heroic acts and community service. Rowley is also well known for helping other MSP troopers and their families. Sergeant Rowley will be given his award during a ceremony in August. And good health, a new weapon against a painful mouth problem and how to avoid those common spring injuries.
But first, could going gray be bad for your health? Boy, I hope not. Dr. Frank McGeorge here with a new study raising some concerns for men, for sure.
You're smiling about this.
Well, I'm
not quite
smiling.
gray yet, but a new study does suggest gray hair may hint more than your age. Researchers looked at men ranging in age from 42 to 64, and they found men who were at least half gray had a higher risk of coronary artery disease than those who had little or no gray hair. Now, the study only showed an association, no cause and effect link. The researchers did note the study did not include women because so many color their hair as they age. Now, there's more proof Botox isn't just for wrinkles anymore. A new study suggests it could help treat a painful mouth problem. The condition is called burning mouth syndrome. It causes pain in the tongue, lips, or the roof of the mouth that can last for months or years. In a small study, 4 patients received injections of Botox in the tongue and lower lip. Well, within 48 hours, all 4 were pain-free, and the benefits lasted up to 16 weeks. Larger studies are, of course, needed, but researchers are encouraged by the results. Now, finally, spring is here, and that means yard work is too, and that can be a real pain, literally. Doctors see a steady stream of patients this time of year suffering aches and injuries from working outside. So, to reduce your risk, start slow and use the right equipment.
Most of us start doing things without really realizing that we've been resting for some time. So ideally one should rest just for a short time and then work out a little bit, do some proper stretches, use the body mechanics, use the right tool for the events that you're addressing.
Now, if you do overdo it, ice can help decrease swelling initially. Heat is recommended for nagging injuries that linger. Also remember, an over-the-counter anti-inflammatory medication can help. Now, it's really important to keep in mind, of course, as we age, our bodies do not recover from injuries as well. So it is far better to focus on preventing problems than to have them and deal with them later.
So what you're saying is don't do the yard work.
I knew you were going to say that.
Right, perhaps. Don't do the yard work, especially if you have gray hair and you're at high risk for coronary artery disease.
Oh, advice
just
from the doc. I love it.
Just a little gray.
My husband's going to be writing that one down.
There you go.
All right, thank you.
The Red Wings back at the Joe to clean out their lockers today.
What we're now learning about the future of the team's front office, including head coach Jeff Blashill. Birdie's got that in sports.
And a warning tonight at a Florida beach popular with spring breakers. What you need to know before getting in the water. Hank?
And Jason, Karen, we are teaching kids about cash, the money lesson they should learn, and at what age.
Coming up Wednesday morning, only on Local 4 News today, some Easter traditions and treats could be putting your pets in danger. Dr. McGeorge is going to explain why it's not just chocolate and lilies that you need to worry about. That's coming up for Wellness Wednesday at 5:50. Plus, as always, we've got your weather and traffic on the 4s. Detroit mornings start here from 4:30 to 7 a.m. We'll see you in the morning.
Jeopardy contestant. New at 6.
First, she hid in the bathroom, then we followed her down 6 flights of stairs. Why Macomb County Clerk Karen Sprayer refuses to talk to the media.
Plus, new guidelines about blood tests that screen for prostate cancer. What doctors are now saying about who should get the test and when.
It is never too early to teach our kids about the value of a dollar, especially how to save one, or at least just simply give you the change when you give them all that money. I'd settle for that.
It is important to talk money. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester joins us now with the lessons that you can start really as early as kindergarten, Hank.
Yeah, exactly. Never too young, especially for teaching these important life lessons to kids. As you will see, the lessons they learn as children could help determine their financial success in the future.
One $10 bill and then $10.
Peyton Short is a teller for the student-run credit union at Gallimore Elementary in Plymouth.
I like counting the money.
The program with Community Financial Credit Union and Plymouth Canton Community Schools teaching students in elementary school about managing their own money.
It's important for children when they're young to handle cash, that they can take to the store and purchase. Something helps to teach them how that works.
Students are making deposits into their accounts. All of them set a savings goal. Peyton wants to buy a computer.
It's kind of hard because first you have to decide if you're going to spend, how much you're going to spend, and how much you're going to save.
8-year-old Rebecca Berry is already saving for her first car.
Probably a Ford Flex. You start off small and you put a little money, like $5, and then maybe in a couple of years you have like $500.
Natalie McLaughlin of Community Financial recommends teaching your middle schoolers to be responsible for more of their costs.
Also distinguishing the difference between needs and wants, that's still important at the elementary level, but then also at middle school because their wants get broader and more expensive.
Natalie recommends high schoolers have a debit card, teaching them how to use plastic without spending more than they've actually earned.
Helping them understand what a credit score is. It's like their GPA at school. It's kind of the overall picture of what they're doing with their money.
These students understanding the value of the dollar early on.
I learned that you shouldn't spend too much, and if you save up, you can get bigger things and better things.
The student tellers are also getting a reality check. They have to fill out an application and go through the interview job process to get an opportunity there to work at the bank. So important to learn these lessons early. Karen, next time your daughter, my goddaughter, gets a check from Uncle Hank, we'll be going over these lessons.
You will. I would like to see you do that.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
We'll play bank at the